Left Jamaica in 1964, lived in England most of my life, come back here, went on some paths, different paths, this and that. So, who has a question for me? Male, female, anybody? Go on, young man. Good stuff.
Why your biggest project as in player development?
My biggest project?
Yeah.
Wow, that's good. I mean, listen, and I'm sure the principal would back me up on this. I've trained so many professional footballers, and in every one there is something there that I see, that it's like poetry to me. You know, and people always say, well, how do you know? You know. My job now is to keep that talent on the straight road. That talent has to compete with mobile phones, with Facebook, with this, that, and the other, with girls fighting over them. All these different things changes. Now, I've created a lot of professional footballers, but I'm telling you now, at least I would say the equation, out of 100%, 70% also have failed, even though I've done a lot, because they haven't listened. They haven't listened. They think kick a ball, get through the first door, get a few pounds in their pockets, buy a fast car, and they think it's all over. It's not. It's not. There are so many ways that you have to manage that money. Suddenly you have a child. Then you've got your family, because it's not just you. The hard-working mum and dad and your extended family that's helped your journey is also entitled to that success. A lot of people don't see that, young people. They don't see that. But all of that, there is a family that guides you, and that guides you is not just your inner circle, your principal, your coach, all these people around you that make you successful. So it's a good question you asked me, because there are so many different characters. There was a young man, I don't know if you've ever heard of him, he played for Jamaica, Joby McAnuff.
Yeah.
So I had him from he was 9 years of age, played with my son as well. Both of them went on to professional football in the anyway, recording the little Brazilian. Always knew, but he had his rough road. He came back for advice, went back on the right road. Now he's a TV pundit, and he's the first black person ever to win the Tom Finney Award. I was his first phone call. I had to do an interview with the television to tell them about his journey. And he reflected on that and said it's so true. You understand what I'm saying? The beauty of the success is how are you going to listen? You have to listen to the wisdom of somebody. I became successful because these 5 women, right? One of them, Dolly Kiffin, but the one that influenced me so much was a mum called Rose Hughes, who saw that, hey, you know, all the young people listen to you. I wasn't a bad man. Oh Jesus, I was always a big guy and I could fight. So a lot of people stayed away from me. Growing up in school and this and in the neighborhood, but I could fight, but I hated bullies. I hate people who are bullies. So this woman said, no, you're different. People listen to you. Can you talk to the youngsters? And then I ended up with a journey of politics. Sitting in number 10 Downing. Not many black people in this world has ever been in the Prime Minister's office. Number 10 Downing Street. I sat with Gordon Brown, Buckingham Palace, Princess of Qatar. Did you think that I was gonna have that journey? But these women mentors had a confidence in me, and they told me the right thing to do. And I separated myself from certain people that was not going in my direction. You understand what I'm saying? So, that is what I'm giving you, how success can happen and continue for you, if that's the journey that you want. But never ever feel scared to go and seek advice from the outer mentors, because we will all give you that advice. Sometimes you may not want to hear what we have to say, but we will all give you that advice because we want you to get up there. Yeah, good question, I like that. Anyone else? Say, what's on your mind, anything? No. Are you sporting? Academic? How would you like to see Jamaica change?
I see like less people fighting over things that doesn't really concern
So I want to hear you shout it out. If you had a choice, would you change it? Would you change it if you had a choice? Or how could we help you to help you to change it? How do you think? See, this is what we want out of you as students, right? Because if we're going to give you a path for you to make it, we got to know how you feel. You understand me? If you keep it quiet, it may never happen and it may be too late. You understand what I'm saying? So part of us collaborating grouping, right? We want that out of you as young people. We don't want to be forcing things on you. That we don't want. You have got to want it. You have got to want it. You understand what I'm saying? So when the questions are asked, no different to your teacher teaching you geography or this, that and the other. If you don't ask, how are you going to know? Your teacher's going to explain it to you. And you may not like what the teacher says, because you're going to say, no, I heard different. Yeah? So we're going to try and make it sound the right way for you. You understand what I'm saying? You know why we do that? So you don't go out there and do something silly. Right? And then people say, well, they weren't, the teachers never teach them. Nobody never tell them this. You understand what I'm saying? Now, you're all seniors, and now you're putting on the spot. How can you change things? How can you ask this man who lived in England? Any of you ever seen snow? Any of you ever seen snow? Do you think you could live in snow? Ah, well, you don't know. If you don't know, ask. What is it like in England to be in snow? Not good. Now, all of you have these dreams of the English paradise. It ain't as fruitful as you think. There's some serious hard work we have to do. And I know there's a lot of Jamaicans, including my family, that think there's gold on the street. And we kind of had a little bit of change. Our pound is a little bit more than the dollars. Yeah? Trust me, we can't go and pick no mango. We can't pick a breadfruit. If you can't pay your bills, you can't ask your neighbour to do this. You're out. It's hard, it's tough. And I know the glamour because I want some of you to go around the world and find out about the world. You understand what I'm saying? That's why I put you in the spot. So you can ask us questions. We have a panel here. We've given you some of the things that we've done in our journey. You can ask us, right? If there's anything that you might want us to just explain to you or this, that and the other. Yeah? Now, don't be embarrassed that you think your friend next to you think I weren't a kid. Because you don't want to talk up because you think the others are going to look at you silly. Wrong. That's wrong. Right? Let's see who the leader emerges. You know why a coach picks a captain of a football team? Who knows why? Why? Why do you think? Huh? Because you think he's the leader. The coach thinks he's the leader. He behaves like the leader. He hopefully talks to the players like a leader. Yeah? And when you go in through to the championship, who's the first person you end up hugging up? The leader in that team, then the manager. Yeah? So we all here want you to be leaders. We want you to be leaders. Whatever community that you come from or work in, we all want you to be leaders. And I'm sure the principal listening to this will have debate. So when I come next year, I'm having this debate again. So that means I'm coming. Right? Good. You can sit down if you want.
Thank you. What has been your experience growing up in the English environment in terms of racism?
My experience in the English environment. My experience in the environment, first of all, it's confusing, but as you get older, you try and decipher all the wrongs and rights. I went to England in 1964. I went to England not a Jamaican. Does anybody know why? Anyone in here know why? I went to England as a British citizen. Because when I was born, Jamaica didn't have independence.
Okay.
When I got to England, I was very quickly told I am not British. So there you go, I'm a black man. Right? And we went through some absolute wrong in the 60s and 70s of that world. Racism was massive. We were called things that was normal. Right? And me as a kid growing up, we thought it was just normal. And as time goes on, and laws pass said you can't say that no more, and things are wrong, this, that, and the other. Then, I've got a battle with a sense that my ancestral roots is African. There is no books at the time when I went to school that showed any credit to black history. None. So I'm confused. So it was as if all my white brothers and sisters gave me everything, including life. And we know that ain't true. You know what I mean? But did I grow up in a world of hate? No, I didn't, because our crest on our company is called a global family. And I've been around the world, trust me. And there's some black countries, I'd rather go to a white country. I'm telling you that now. So, learning life isn't easy. I have had many different discussions, especially after the George Floyd, with many headmasters and headmistresses, as regards to Christopher Columbus and the rest, who is exalted as the greatest, right? No, that's my view. Exalted as the greatest. They're not the greatest. They were robbers, looters, rapists, and thieves. Unfortunately, we have to teach our kids, in order to pass an exam, that they were the greatest. That's wrong. I find it difficult. So it's my responsibility to teach my kids and my grandkids, right? I'm not telling you don't pass your exam in school, right? But after you pass your exam, this is the truth. Learn the truth.
Yes, sir.
You understand what I'm saying? We have that responsibility to our kids. So the confused world that I was in, they don't go in that confused world. They actually know now, right? And those are the history that I want. I went to Kenya and I found out, and I went there, and the Greek Orthodox Church invited me there to do football development over there. And I listened to their tribal thing that was wiped out, their spiritual healing, right? And I'm saying, well, why have you given it up? Because when the Americans and the British and everybody was running Kenya at the time, they weren't allowed to do that. They weren't even allowed to speak their tribal language. That's wrong. So there's a lot of correction has to be done in the world as we're expanding. The ones in this room are the ones, hopefully. I may not see the change in my lifetime. The ones in this room are the ones I hope, with some of our knowledge and wisdom, passing on to them, will change that.
What advice you give to a young player? And the other question, do you coach at a football academy or a football club?
Well, we are a technical academy. All the football clubs in England know us. When we pick up the phone, they know we have a player. Coffee Road, that Mr. Odin here just explained. We had him from 7? 6. Right. And from he walked through our door and kicked the first ball, we said his mum is a professional. He's now just signed an extended 2-year contract with Tottenham Hotspur, and he's got a guaranteed scholar. And that was from he was 6 years of age. But this is what we do. We have our kind of policy, right? And the 3 things that we teach: stamina, skill, and knowledge of the game, stroke knowledge of the profession. When we try to teach them that, and we ask them, what do we mean by stamina? You youngsters, let me ask you, what do you think I mean by stamina? Huh? Fitness? What else? Physique? What else?
Endurance.
Endurance? What else?
has also
Huh? You what's that, sorry?
respiratory system. Has
Good, good. Now, all of you have just aimed at stamina just meaning physical fitness. Mental. Right? Now, a little bit of the mental is there, right? Because let me tell you this now. Part of your stamina is getting up to go to school in the morning. Aha! That's part of your stamina. A lot of you don't realize the stamina that your parents go through to get up in the morning, cook you breakfast, go to work, make sure you have clothes. That stamina, that keeps you on the journey. The physical fitness side of it is what you have to do to become a professional. But the mental stamina, to maintain that, forget the friends, turn up to school on time, all these things is a stamina that you have to have. It's a combination, it's not just kicking the ball. The skill, identifying the talent that you have, just like a teacher, they know you're going to be a professor. They know. But how can they stop that person from getting involved on the street, getting involved in this, getting involved in that? Hey, you're an academic. You're going to be the next accountant or finance of the government. And then the next minute, you think it doesn't hurt the teacher when they see a picture in the newspaper or on the television of a student that they know is a AAA, and suddenly it's gone that way. Yeah? And the third part, as I said, is knowledge of the game. Telling you when to kick a ball, how to kick a ball, how to control the ball, how to chest the ball. No different to being a banker, right? Why am I going to give you my money if you don't know how to be a banker? So at the end of the day, the knowledge of the profession is also important. So we try and teach all three. And what we call it, the outcome of it, we call it the discipline of life. So not just football. Because without all of that, you ain't going nowhere. Does that answer that, Coach?
Yes, it is.